Okay, so I probably should have done this video on Halloween, but as you can see, we're talking about The Shining again today, and we're going to find out exactly how many ghosts are in The Shining. Now, I know that it might seem obvious who the ghosts are, but the answer is a bit more complex when you really look at it, as is usually the case with Stanley Kubrick movies. Now, some people might say the driving up sequence has ghostly voices in it, and that's true. But for our purposes, I don't think that's necessarily a ghost that we can count. But yes, the soundtrack, the music, and sound effects are very evocative and unusual. Then there's Danny's imaginary friend, Tony. Again, I'm not sure he actually qualifies as a ghost, so I'm going to put that to the side, at least for the moment, since it's hard to know if Danny's imaginary friend Tony is actually a ghost or just something that a lot of kids might do when they're isolated. Now, here in this next scene, we get our first real glimpse of ghosts, which will be the twins. But first we see our iconic elevator with the river of blood. Now, I know that there are videos out there that say there's a body that flops out of the elevator and can briefly be seen as a shape in the river of blood. But I'm not going to rehash that since it's purposely mysterious, and therefore I can't really count that as a ghost, though it might be. Then, of course, we see the twins, who definitely are ghosts. I think technically these are the first definitive ghosts that we see in The Shining, though it's literally for a second. Now, you might also notice the furniture that starts floating in front of the elevator. I always actually felt it was a bit ghostly when this furniture started floating around, though again, we don't see a ghost in that area. It may be implied. Now, this is a really interesting scene. It's the game room, where we find Danny playing a game of darts, and then the twins show up. It's just a very creepy scene, since Danny is sort of by himself, wandering around the hotel and trying to find something to do. But one really interesting detail here is that the chair on the right at that table, it actually moves in between shots. If you look closely, you can see it's moved, but there's obviously no one else there but Danny, except for the twins. It's more proof of a ghostly presence. Then, of course, Danny is off exploring the hotel hallways on his tricycle as he meets the twins again. They're obviously trying to make contact with him. They apparently don't show up to anyone else in the film. Are they trying to warn Danny of impending danger, perhaps? Then we meet Lloyd the bartender in the gold room, in which Jack proceeds to get drunk. But, odd detail, if the bartender is a ghost, is the liquor actually real? Can you really get drunk on liquor that's served to you by a ghost? Well, apparently it has some sort of similar effect on Jack after he drinks it, because he definitely appears to be completely drunk. We go to room 237 now, and there in the green bathroom, we see the young woman in the bathtub and the old woman who laughs at Jack. Two more ghosts, though Danny does claim to have seen this ghost as well when he went to room 237. Now, time for Grady in the red bathroom. It's such an odd scene. I did a whole video just about the red bathroom. It's called The Shining, Where is the Red Bathroom? It's on my channel if you wanted to check it out, but Grady is obviously a ghost. In fact, all of the party guests in the gold room are ghosts, since they are from another time and another era. Then, after Mr. Halloran is killed and everything really starts going crazy, we meet the bare-suited man and his friend. This scene is so strange. I should do a deep dive just on this scene sometime, and I probably will. And Wendy literally looks like she's seen a ghost or two. Again, as Wendy is looking for Danny in the hotel and trying to get out of there, she runs into another strange ghost. This guy seems to have some type of head wound, but we're not sure what it's from, and he still has his drink in his hand, as if he were just enjoying a party in the gold room. Now, when Wendy runs into the room and sees all the skeletons of the former party guests, who I'm definitely counting as ghosts, this is probably the scene with the most ghosts in it. I count 15 skeletons, though it's hard to tell. There could definitely be a few more in the shadows. Curious detail is that one of the skeletons appears to be Grady, carrying a tray with two glasses on it. It's just like the ones that Grady spills on Jack in an earlier scene. I might add Jack in as one of the ghosts at the end of the film, since after he becomes frozen, he does end up in that old black and white picture in the last shot. Technically, everyone in that picture is a ghost, since it's from 1921. To sum up, I technically count 25 ghosts in The Shining. Let's run it down. 1 and 2 are the twins. Lloyd the bartender is number 3. The young woman and the old woman in the green bathroom of room 237 are 4 and 5. Grady from the red bathroom is number 6. The bare-suited man and his friend are 7 and 8. The man with the head wound and the drink is number 9. I'm counting Jack as number 10. And there's 15 skeletons I could see in the scenes with Wendy. But are those really all the ghosts in The Shining? In some of Jack's Gold Room scenes, there are obviously many dozens of people there, wearing clothes from another era. I'd call these ghosts, technically, though it's hard to actually count all of them since the room is so large and there are people all the way in the back. But there could easily be 75 people there or more. Also, we can't forget some of the moving furniture and the river of blood by the elevator. It's definitely hinted that there are ghosts there. You could actually argue that there are even more ghosts in The Shining than you can even see or count, since one of the themes in this film is the killing of Native American peoples, and maybe that is why there's a feeling of ever-present ghosts throughout The Shining. Well, that's my new video on the ghosts of The Shining, or at least as many as I could count. I'm definitely working on some new videos for next week, and with Christmas coming up in a couple weeks, I'm going to try and do something a little special for Christmas. Of course, it's Kubrick related, and I'll try and put that up maybe the weekend right before Christmas. So thank you for spending time with me, and have a nice day.
You'll never know anybody was ever here.
Just like a ghost ship, huh?
Yes.